forgive my lack of a shirt. It's truly sweltering out here right now. So I wanted to say something because I was recently having an experience where I guess I consumed too much caffeine. Really, it was just one Mountain Dew, which seems stupid, but I guess it was compounded over a few days of one Mountain Dew. But anyway, I just wasn't feeling too good. I decided to go outside and do something stupid. Well, maybe my most people's standards, but the reason I went outside is because someone told me, or I should say this person was my spirit healer once. They did a session on me. It wasn't really something I particularly believed in going into it, but it worked. I can say that much. But she told me, just as general advice after the fact, that it's very good to, in the literal sense, touch grass. And she didn't say it in, the common parlance that we say. She specifically said, ground yourself, take your shoes off, let your feet touch the ground. There's vibrations in the earth, etc., etc., all these things. And I'm kind of like a forward-thinking skeptic when it comes to all these spiritual things. I don't entirely dismiss them. I don't think they're as powerful as people would suggest. I also would say that they are pretty much real, just not, well, I don't want to get too deep into that, but so I think it's funny that we say today, go touch grass, blah blah blah. It's actually, it feels really good. Like, I was laying in bed, just feeling like over caffeinated for like the 40th hour in a row, and I was like, I don't feel good. My heart is kind of just like, nothing deadly. It was really not much caffeine, but I decided I was going to go outside and unironically touch grass, and I think it has made me feel a million times better in a very short amount of time. And you don't even have to believe in spiritual shit to do this. It's just like plain as fucking day to me, honestly. If you're not feeling that great, it's not gonna, I wouldn't say it's gonna save your life, right? Maybe it could. I wouldn't rely on it, though. Definitely don't rely on it. But I just think if you are feeling particularly bad for a particular reason, go outside, take your damn shoes off, touch some actual grass with your feet. That's important. The feet part. I don't know why. Some kind of resonance issue or something. And beyond the situation I outlined for myself, I think if you're just feeling like angry, maybe you had a really intense argument with someone, and you're almost violent or something stupid like that, which you just never get violent over an argument, but go outside, touch your feet to some ground. I think you chill off really quick. It's funny how with every meme thing we come up with, there's always like there's some truth to it with the memes we come up with. They're not just arbitrary symbols of comedy. I think there's some kind of a underlying connection to a specific relevant cultural ideal or something. I don't know. Look at the freaking Giga Chad meme, and how he's like, I think he was originally posted under the name like Average Citizen or something like that, and it's meant to illustrate how like maybe online we portray ourselves as like this kind of persona that is not necessarily in alignment with like even like our own sense of self. Like we exaggerate to ourselves as well as others, like the extent to which our opinions are significant and truthful, the amount of belief we have in them, and it seems silly. I mean, it's a meme, but I think in comedy there's a certain it's not just comedy. I mean, this is kind of like a Zizek take. I'm sure you could find him saying like practically the same freaking thing that I'm saying. So, I think it's worthwhile to examine, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a natural process. You don't need to think about it. And comedy is just the slow shift of a dynamic from some kind of under or hidden truth to some kind of a eventual, more tangible truth. I like that idea, personally. I mean, the more you reflect over the same idea and the same principles, the more this starts to actually shape the way you think about other things and normal life and day-to-day random BS. If you really want like a weird sounding interpretation of this idea, maybe this could be some kind of a Jungian archetype that's unveiling itself into the collective consciousness through memes. It's not a very far-fetched idea. I think most people could probably even like explain or pick up on this themselves without like if you prompted them to, and while they're just making the funny online, it doesn't occur to them at that moment, but it's a real phenomena, and you should be somewhat mindful of that. I think you should try to acknowledge that the not just culture itself, but the mindsets of people change over time, over the course of just a few years. I'd say that the way we think about reality and interact with each other does shift in some significant ways, and it might not be obvious all the time, but it's significant. It does shape our self-perception, perceptions of others, and eventually, I think there's a certain momentum, not just in the individual idea. Thank you, motorcycle. Not just in the individual idea, but thank you, truck. The way that they compile upon each other and create some kind of a snowball effect, can change psychology in subtle but significant ways that eventually add up to a real, markable change in not just our mindset, but the way we consider each other, the way we consider just day-to-day things. I mean, a lot of people think you have to take some kind of drug to have a psychedelic experience. You really don't. Day-to-day life is, in its own sense, a kind of drug. And this is not just a crackpot take either. I think there's absolutely a definitive way you could disambiguate the nature of like a normal day, your normal, entirely sober experience, and make a deduction out of that is deeper than you might initially allow yourself to let on. And the internet has so much drama on it. I wouldn't say you have to, going back to touching grass, I wouldn't say you have to actually stop the drama wholesale. I think there's both a stigma and an attachment to drama at the same time, because on one hand, it's a kind of, I guess, emotional violence or something, because we want to create this kind of a fictional narrative to ourselves that when we create drama online with whatever argument it is, I would tend more towards something that's not at a purely personal level, but we definitely use emotional tactics. And this isn't just like propaganda. This is something normal people do. We use emotional tactics to elicit a certain way of potentially changing someone's mindset, or just making it seem like the other person is off base and such. Base. And I think that's unironically not as bad as it seems. I don't want to say that, you should be like trying to create more emotional charge in a situation than is necessary, but people, these arguments online, they translate to real world things. I mean, in theory, they should. We would like them to. Maybe they don't. And that's something to care about, to the point of, a little bit of emotional charge. I think it's unfortunate that we have to hate each other at the end of the day, though. Just my opinion. I think you can separate the opinion from the person a good deal. I think there are plenty of people I would hate the opinions of, but personally not mind hanging out with. Could be the opposite. Good opinions, don't want to hang out with them. But I think it's very easy for people to forget that it's meant to be a collaborative project, this society thing. It's not meant to be us at each other's throats all the time. And even if, that's what we're doing in arguments, I think generally people want to make the world a better place. They don't want to make the world a worse place. Hot take. And I just think it's unfortunate that we have to, I think we put a little bit of sensationalism when we are arguing with people online or posting comments or whatever, because despite everything we say about algorithm bad because it's stirring the pot and, you know, getting clicks off of Outrage, we do that. Everyone does that. Like, you can't even live in a society without doing that. It's just kind of natural at this point. I don't know. Maybe we need to move away from that, but as things stand, to get anyone to acknowledge you, you can't just be neutral, unbiased, presenting information in a format which is purely logical. You need to rile yourself up to rile other people up, and that's what makes you popular, because we don't popularize our systems based upon what's best for society. We popularize our systems based off of what can make me popular on the internet. You know? Got a truck coming here. But, anyway, think about these things. Think about what it really means to touch grass. Because if we don't touch grass, then I think we're gonna have more January 6ths. And, you know, I don't want to be partisan here, but the fact that it led to that point is disturbing on many levels. Not just that you know, they were trying to overturn democracy, blah blah blah, that same old bullshit. I think it's just concerning that it ever reaches that point in a person's mind where you think, wow, we really need to, like, actually do violence in order to get our freaking voices heard. Like, that's terrifying that people feel that way. And I don't think it's just them. I think you gotta start looking a little bit inward too. You gotta consider the self in the other, all that stupid boring stuff, and maybe go touch some goddamn grass.